Hi, everybody. It's Joe Chaffee here, SSStormchasing.com, meteorologistjoechaffee.com, weatherlongisland.com, and soon to be NYCweathernow.com. And we have Tropical Storm Lisa over there, and we have Tropical Depression Karl, probably becoming Tropical Storm Karl again over there. And I'm kind of in the middle, in between the two of them. But both of them are relatively weak, although I will say that at least the signature of Karl has gotten a little better this morning on the satellite. Actually, Lisa doesn't look too bad either, as they both move their way northwestward in the Atlantic, passing well north and east of Puerto Rico and the Dominican Republic and well east of the Bahamas. Karl's going to make its turn sharply northeastward, probably pass close to Bermuda at some point over the next 2 days, and then goodbye. And Lisa will more than likely weaken and get absorbed by Karl, who will then get absorbed by a big low out in the Atlantic. There really isn't too much happening with respect to weather going forward that I can see. Certainly going into early next week, we don't have any issues to worry about. You can see Karl here on the GFS model, and we'll roll it along. Still dealing with some leftover moisture to our south and east, but at least the high clouds have finally pulled out, and we're having a nice day. Here's our cold front that comes through. This is for Friday. It's actually a little bit faster. It comes through Friday evening, and it drops down more from the almost east-west front. There's not a whole lot of shower activity with it, so we're going to be very warm tomorrow with temperatures in the 80s with humidity levels up a little bit. It'll be uncomfortable, but not overly so. And then here comes the dry, cool air that's been advertised over the weekend. The push is a little further east, so it's not, it's not as deep a cool air mass as what was being indicated just a couple of days ago, which is not unusual really, but it'll be cool enough. I still think we'll have Sunday and Monday probably not out of the 60s in most places. And even Saturday will probably just be in the low 70s. We're almost in the, we're toward the latter part of September now. It's hard for things to warm up. Now, next week, as the high comes down, now there's different solutions with the models regarding this. And also, by the way, the GFS develops a tropical storm kind of out of nowhere in the Western Gulf and takes it up into Texas for the middle part of next week. I mean, I don't know how real that is, but the GFS model wants to drop the high down to our south, which means that beginning on Wednesday and then into Thursday, we're going to warm up again before another front comes through, and then another high builds down with some cooler air. But we have a different scenario setting up on the upper air. It's amazing. It went from this dynamic omega block looking scenario yesterday, and now I'm not really sure what to make of all of this. So we'll just give you a quick look here, and I think I'll get into this more during this afternoon. Let me roll it back. So here's the upper air, and you can see that deep trough forms in eastern Canada. That's been advertised forever, but now the models instead of kind of holding that upper low east of Newfoundland or south of Newfoundland for at least a few days, now it pulls it out. So here's that next upper air storm that drives up into the plains, but that just kind of opens up and weakens. And then after that, the ridge builds back in, which, I suppose is one of the possibilities of how things play out. The European has a different solution in that it actually, as we roll the European back, same idea, only a little bit of a cooler air mass that lasts a little bit longer. Then it's got another one that reinforces this one. So we're back to that scenario again. And in fact, the energy winds up separating and cutting off just to the east of New Jersey and the Virginia coast. So there's some argument that you could have some non-tropical low developing here later this week with northeast winds. I mean, I don't know. These solutions are just ridiculous. I mean, they're so totally different. Here's the European for the end of next week, and here's the GFS for the end of next week, and they're just two totally different solutions. So I think the best way to describe it is the fact that while we seem to be undergoing some kind of a pattern change or a pattern shift of some sort, although there is still this tendency for a ridge to want to build into the eastern part of the United States. But while that's happening, models tend to be much more volatile than they usually are, and I think we're just going to have to get used to that. So enjoy the rest of your Thursday. And we will, of course, you can catch all the latest goings on my Facebook page, meteorologistjoechaffee.com. So be sure, if you're not on Facebook, to hook up with me on Facebook, on Twitter, at Joe Chaffee. I'm everywhere. And, of course, on TV, Fios 1 News, WPIX TV Channel 11. And we'll see what the day run models do, because, frankly, we get to a point sometimes in the weather world that you get confused, and I'm at that point right now. Have a great day.